Member Ash is here. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, this is the part of the agenda for public comment on items that are not on our agenda and within the jurisdiction of the board. Do we have any public comment tonight? Yes, and if you'd like, introduce yourself.
Sure thing.
If you'd like.
Hello. My name's Tom Salvatore. I'm the band teacher, music teacher at Emery Secondary School. And I first want to thank, we had a great event last Wednesday. It was amazing. I want to thank Dr. Rubio for attending. Is this a little hot? No. I want to thank Dr. Rubio for attending, and also Mr. Affelt and everybody else who attended, because our students did a fabulous job. I just want to take my time real fast to talk about some concerns that I should also mention. I'm the union rep, the site union rep at the high school. I just want to take real fast, talk about some concerns that we have of our declining enrollment and the advertisement that we need to do. One of the things that we're worried about is that currently we only have 20 students registered, that we understand registered for kindergarten, where in the past we've had a waiting list. There's no waiting list. I was at the elementary school recently, and I didn't see a banner for registration outside. I'm wondering if information has been sent to the daycares or preschools. Just wondering about that process. I'm also concerned that when I go past the new site, under construction, that there's no banners, and there's nothing that says, oh, a school is coming, here it comes, all right. You know, there's nothing exciting about that. And the ECCL, there's something, this is a personal thing, nowhere in ECCLL does it say school. And so, I don't know, we're a school. I feel we should be letting people know that we're a school. Yeah, and I know at the high school, we haven't had any meetings from leadership, and the ILT hasn't had any talk about improving daily attendance through our, having kids coming in on time. We haven't addressed that as a staff, and our leadership hasn't led that. And we're also concerned that I know at the high school, there's issues going on with counseling and after school and other things. And we're afraid that that's going to affect the community, where people coming in, if we make strong changes to counseling, if we make drastic changes to other things. Well, I should say negative changes, because we want these programs to be strong to attract students. And we're just looking for your leadership and your help to do this. I also want to end that I know that people have said negative things about the high school, and I just want to ask you that the next time someone says something negative about the high school, that you tell them that they need to listen to our band, because our band is really, really good. And when you hear them play and you see how proud they are, and you see the boys wearing ties, and you hear how strong they are, the learning is on display, and anybody who hears them has to think, wow, they sound great. They must go to a really good school. So if anybody says something negative about the school, I need you to tell them, listen to our band. So I want to, yeah, I understand. So I just want to thank you. I know there's things we need to do to attract people to our amazing school, and we're just hoping that leadership can guide us there.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Salvatore, and thank you for your band leadership.
Good evening. My name is Mark Davis. I'm a teacher at the high school. I'm also the ETA vice president. Tonight I want to just follow up a little bit what Tom said, and that last night I got a phone call from a former student who is now, he went through, had him as a freshman, took him through 4 years, went to Cal, UCLA School of Law. He's now a federal prosecutor in LA. Cite that this is what Emery turns out. Same classroom, same teachers, same curriculum, success story. So I don't want to hear all the negative stuff about the high school either. We have our success stories. I do want to talk about something that I intended to talk to you about something totally different until late this afternoon. And what came to my mind is the lack of morale that is going through both sites. That teachers are working hard, they feel like they're being investigated, they feel intimidated, they feel like there's going to be retaliation. They are worried, they are really kind of disturbed, okay? I don't like finding out that somebody's looking on an attendance database to see what time I checked in and to tell somebody else about it. But that's what I was told, that Dr. Rubio knew exactly what time I was on and, you know, told someone that I had not provided a substitute that day, which I did. So we're very concerned about the way in which things are happening to staff. There seems to be such a small district that we should be able to communicate. We are not that big. We should be able to pick up a phone. I would hope that the superintendent would find it in his time. If he can check up on ESOP, he can pick up the phone and call a teacher, call a staff member, and ask them, hey, what is this I hear? And so we get a real human interaction, and we don't end up where we are tonight. I hope the board will look into this. We don't have the authority to do that, but we had high hopes when Dr. Rubio came here. We wanted change. We believed that he was going to build a relationship with teachers, that it was going to be a positive movement. Right now, intimidation, fears, paranoia has filled that gap.
You're out of
And
time.
it's an easy repair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Lauren LaPlante, school psychologist and also ETA treasurer. I wanted to speak to some similar concerns with staff morale. As in the position that I'm in, I get the opportunity to work at both school sites, so I hear a lot from staff, and being the district psychologist, I get to hear an extra lot about how people feel. And it seems that we're in an era where relationships are no longer the priority. And it also seems that there's a correlation between impaired relationships and increased spending on district leadership fees. So we've figured out that this year the district's already spent $51,000 more in legal fees compared to last year. And at a time where we're talking about cutting essential programs related to counseling, positive youth development, and other programs, it's really discouraging to know that legal fees are increasing at the same time. And I don't recall a time in the recent past where this has been the case. So I just want to put it out there that we had a principle of creating a sense of family, and that does not seem to be the case. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ray Corona. I'm currently a student at Emery High School. I'm a junior. I'm just speaking on behalf of the counselor position being removed from Emery High School. I know that from what I've heard on information about it, it's not a major position that we need, but I like to say that it is something that we really need at Emery High School. Specifically, the counselor at Emery High School is a really great counselor, not only because we build relationships with that counselor, thank you, but because that counselor, the counselor position in general, it provides us with information that we can't access, or information that we don't know how to access, specifically such as scholarships. I actually had a college class on counseling with the counselor at my high school that talked to me about scholarships, it talked to me about FAFSA, it talked to me about financial aid. I can go on, But this is information that I specifically didn't know, simply because I just didn't know the information. And knowing the information coming from my counselor and building this relationship over years, like I've known this counselor since I've been in the 7th grade. Before the counselor was actually even a counselor, I had him as a math teacher. I've built relationship with him. I can trust on his word that if he tells me to go to Berkeley City College and fill out an application, or go to a certain specific area to do a certain thing, I can trust and know, like, you know, I can trust this person. Like, I already know he knows a lot about it. He knows about what he's doing. And so I just really would like to say that, again, the relationship, it's a major need, and the counseling position is definitely something you guys should think about twice, because it's affecting the students. If you take it out of the program, it will affect us in a very negative way. And this is just me talking to my students who are in my classroom, and they've said that it will affect them. Many of them have even said that they're willing to go to a different school simply because the counselor position is being removed. And that's just that's to show you that this counselor position isn't just something that you're taking out of the school and it's not going to affect no one. It will affect a lot of us, including myself. And so I'd just like to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Diana Sharif. I'm a junior at Emery, and I came here. I've been in this district since the 4th grade, and I've never really objected to any decisions that have been made until I heard about this counselor position being removed from Emery. I've known Mr. Patterson since the 7th grade, and he is one of the very few adults at Emery that has stuck it out with us. He is a support to many of the students, both academically and emotionally. At Emery, we pride ourselves in creating a sense of family, but we can't do that if we've had 3 different principals every year, and we can't do that if we're constantly taking away staff and faculty. Many students at Emery don't have stable adult figures in their lives, so we consider the adults at Emery very important to us, and we go to them for help a lot. Mr. Patterson especially. Many of us have turned to Patterson because he not only knows what he's doing, like others have said, but he knows how to connect with us. The whole school knows that they can turn to him in times of need, and he does all this outside of his job as a counselor. He's proven to us that we have people at Emery that care about us and that will go out their way to make us feel comfortable. A lot of students at Emery, including myself, are first-generation high school graduates. And without Mr. Patterson, we wouldn't know half of the stuff we know now. And he's gone out his way to teach a class for us and to inform us about all the stuff like financial aid and which colleges are the best for us. And we can't have a part-time intern come in with no knowledge of our hopes and desires, think they can do the job that he's done for the past 5 or 6 years with as much dedication.
Thank you.
Hi. My name is Keeley R, and I've been at Emery Unified School District ever since I was in kindergarten. And I would like to talk about the position as a counselor. Mr. Patterson has widely helped me ever since I was attending high school at Emery. I trust his word very hardly, and I believe if you get rid of this program, you're not only hurting Emery, you're actually hurting the class of 2016 and the future. So I believe he should stay because he went beyond his way just to help all of us. I've been taking college classes at Laney for a year now, and it's been helping me like crazy. And it's making it look good on not only my transcript, but every person who takes a college class at Laney with the help of Mr. Patterson. And I also want to to talk about the position Ms. Brenda is, I guess, in. I don't really know the name for it. But without her, she helped a lot too for not only our class, but the classes before us and the classes that's coming after us. I feel like, speaking on behalf of class of 2016, we worked so hard, and for us getting rid of her is potentially not having us a prom or a senior ski trip or a grad night. And I worked too hard for not to enjoy my one little week of fun. And I think getting rid of her and Mr. Patterson is a very big mistake, and y'all should really reconsider about it. and have them stay. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mr. Wehner. I'm a teacher at Emery Secondary School for the last 8 years, the advanced math program. I was also the summer school site administrator. I also run the SSTs and 504s at Emery Secondary School, helping with the administration. I am also the leader of the Positive Behavior Intervention and Supports team and a cost team member. So I am, also the senior advisor. I do a lot at the school currently and for the past 8 years. I substitute when the principal is out as the principal for the high school and once for the elementary school. One thing I have to say is that we are massively understaffed at the high school. As part of the Positive Behavior Intervention Program, we're trying to figure out how to keep discipline and behavior in the school under control, and we don't have the staff to monitor our lunches. We don't have staff to run detentions. We have no staff available to handle discipline when the security guard's out or whenever anyone else is out. Most of our discipline is handled by our security guard, by our secretaries, and by our counselor. So without them, and as we lose more and more staff, we have less administration on campus. Next year, it looks like we're going to have one admin on campus. I will not be fulfilling the role as admin next year. And this year, when I subbed for admin, I was subbing another class as a teacher, running the office since all the office staff was out, acting as the security guard, guarding the front door, and being the principal, all at the same time. And that is massively illegal. There is major problems and major concerns when we have rooms being monitored by security guards who do not have sub-credentials. That's illegal. You need admin on staff. You need a counselor on staff who can fill in for these roles. When I run SST meetings and I don't have an admin on site and the counselor is not there, that's a problem. And half the meetings I run, we have to tell the parents, I'm sorry, Emery does not have the tools necessary to service your kid at this point. We don't have an after-school program. We don't have tutoring. There's a lot of services lacking. And you want to cut positions at this point, I don't know how you're going to be servicing the class of 2016 and any following class without these positions.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Acosta. I am an alumni who graduated last year from Emery High School. And I can definitely tell you that the fears Diana, Ray, and Keeley presented to you about not having a counselor in the upcoming year are very much true. Last year, as it was having a counselor, he was very overwhelmed with all the stuff he had to do. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with the Common App and the application for the UCs, but there is a section where the counselor himself has to fill out, where you input the counselor's email and he gets a link to fill out that portion for every single student filling the application. And you have about 60 students and one man filling all those applications out. So it's definitely not enough as it was. And when I heard that the counselor position was going to be removed, I was not so much shocked seeing as how understaffed we were last year, but just in denial that such an important position for all of the students within the school was going to be removed.
Thank you.
All right. My name is CJ Patterson. I'm the counselor for Emery Secondary School. First off, I would like to thank everyone for showing up tonight. I'm going to try to limit this to just the kids. They need a counselor, number one. Number two, they need somebody who already knows them. Bringing in anyone else at this point in time, it's not going to be cool at all. You're bringing in total strangers. They're going to have to build relationships to them. For the class of 2016, it's just going to be hell for them, I just have to admit. I have been reassigned to the elementary school. I have longevity with this district. I'm coming up on 10 years. And I had to go through hell just to be counselor in the first place. I mean, sit under somebody who didn't even have counseling credentials. Really, for 5 years. I finally go out, get my counseling credentials, got to sit under this person for 5 years, then finally become counselor. Now you want to take me away from the kids. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. I'm here for the students, and I want to continue to be here for the students. I'm willing to take a part-time counseling position as long as it includes another part-time position for me to teach on the high school campus. I understand cutbacks, I really do. But I think I've paid my dues here, right? And I think I've been here for the kids. Like Mr. Wehner, I too do a lot on campus. I am, since I have a PPS credential, many times Mr. Ferber will leave the campus under my control. So I am there taking care of that role, taking care of the counseling role, doing whatever teaching, doing whatever, helping out with the security, all of that. If you keep taking people away from the campus that the kids already know, you're just creating a recipe for disaster. You're continuously cutting, and you're not replacing them, number one. Number two, the students know us. They respond to us. You're going to have total chaos on your hands if you keep doing this. This counseling position really needs to stay. There's a lot of things that I do behind the scenes that nobody is aware of, and I don't even think anybody really wants to know about it. But truth be told, I need to be on the campus with the kids.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson.
Hello, my name is Francisco Acosta. For most of you guys who know me, I'm the junior class president. And I've also wanted to speak on behalf of the cutting of the position of counseling at Emery. I feel like when you're taking Mr. Patterson away from us, you're not only taking a counselor, but you're also taking a member of our Emery family. We've developed this family for years with Patterson, and it's not even up to debate to be able to take someone of that caliber out of our schools. Also, I'm not sure if anyone here is familiar with the concurrent enrollment form for colleges, but it is clearly stated that a counselor is needed to be able to fill this out for us to go to college. So what I'm saying right now is, if you guys cut him, nobody here is going to college. Not me, not Keeley, not Symphony, not Ray, nobody. And I really think it should really be reconsidered, what you guys are doing here with Mr. Patterson. Mr. Patterson, I've known him for a long time. He's always done his job right. He's always helped me out. If it wasn't for Mr. Patterson, I wouldn't have took all 4 college classes that I've already took. And I just really feel like you guys really need to reconsider taking him away from our school and our family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is also Francisco Acosta. His father and also the father of Vanessa, who just spoke a little while ago. And I'm also the father of another alumni who's graduating this coming Saturday from University of Santa Clara as a computer science engineer. She also, when we first moved our kids to the Emery school district, I was very happy when, everybody, the teachers and everybody was telling them, going to college, it's not an option. You just have to go. But now, it seems like it's really, if there is no counselor, really, it's not going to be an option. They just won't be able to go. Because like everybody has been saying, it's overwhelming when the time is like, time window is closing for you to submit your transcripts, to submit your application. And, the students, of course, they have been busy meeting the requirements to go to college, but they don't know. In fact, a lot of the teachers, I'm sure, don't know how to fill out those applications and how to make sure that the kids get accepted to the colleges that they would like to go in order to become the professionals that they want to be. So I don't know how to say this because I don't want it to sound like a threat, but like I heard one of the students say earlier, that some students are considering moving. I know that the position is probably being cut because of budget, because of money, but every time a student moves out of the district, the district loses money. And you know, if it's about numbers, about business, I think removing the counselor position is a bad business for Emery. And I mean, I definitely want the best for my kids. So if there isn't going to be the support and the resources for my son to go to college and follow his sister's footsteps, I'm definitely going to have to move him to another school where he can get the support that he needs. So I just wanted to say that, so you know, please consider not removing the position so we can all hopefully continue educating our kids for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Good evening. First, I just want to start with just hearing the comments made about the teachers and the morale being down at the high school and the negative comments about the high school. It really saddens me, and it just is really disappointing, because for teachers, the job it's a thankless job anyway, and it's a tough job. And to deal with the kids of today, it's already a tough job. So I just think that to have low morale at the school is just, at the high school or any school, for teachers is just not a good thing. And it really saddens me as a parent, because I want my kid to enter into a school where the teachers are excited, they're happy about being there, they're motivated about teaching the kids, but to be dealing with other administrative things as a teacher in this day and time, being a thankless job, I think it's just, I mean, it's absurd to me. It really is, because it doesn't have to be like that. You can make it, I'm looking at the agenda, and it says it's supposed to be a family and, you know, high academics and so forth, and you can't get that when you have low morale. So I'm just saying, just on behalf of parents, that we need the teachers motivated. We need the teachers happy. We need the teachers knowing that they have support from the administration, from the school board, from the school district. We need that. I need to know that my child is getting a good education. And I have not, the teachers that I have met at Emery are great. I mean great, because I have a kid that's, you know, have a little struggles, few struggles, and I've had to meet with teachers numerous times. But I can say for Emery Secondary School, from the moment I step into that building, I'm getting hellos and hi. So I couldn't tell that there was low morale. So thank you all for, you know, I thank you so much, because I never picked up on that. But so I just want you to know that as a parent, that you have my support in whatever I need to do, and whatever we need to do as parents, we will. And the second thing is really quick, is the counseling position. To hear that the counseling position may possibly be eliminated. That's, I mean, a position that is so beneficial to the kids. I just couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine me going through high school and not having the counselor. I know how crucial my counselor was to me getting out of high school, going on to college. So I just couldn't imagine that position being eliminated. With colleges being so competitive these days, I mean, even it's beneficial for the kids, but it's also beneficial to the parents. Because I need to be able to go into a counselor's office. I have older kids that graduated, and I was able to go and say, where are we? Because sometimes you don't get the whole story from the kids. So I need to know where my child is as far as, you know, requirements.
You're out of time.
And so forth. So thank you. You have
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharif. I'm the father of Diana Sharif. I live in Emeryville for almost 12 years. My kids, I have 4 kids. They go Emery school. Honestly, we need the counselor in the school. I mean, we are paying, you know, I'm a business owner for almost 15 years. We paying a lot of taxes to let them stay and be there for our kids. We work hard for our kids. I mean, you guys have to put yourself in our place first. Your kids going out of school in Emery. We need the counselor, and we need to watch out for our kids them days. We work hard for them. We need them to go to college. We pay, like I said, we pay a lot of taxes to keep them. You know, they're not making too much money to teach in California. You know, work with Uber, they're making more than what they make in California in the school district. So we really need your guys' help. We need to keep him here. I know this person for almost 8 years. He's been good to all the schools. My kids is out happy in there, and I don't want to move them to another school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Symphony. I'm a student at Emery also. As a student at Emery, I am personally reconsidering going to a different school with the counselor being removed, because I would rather go to a different school with the chances of falling behind with the support I need than to be at a school with no counselor with no support at all. Also, cutting Ms. Brenda's position is not to be selfish, but it is messing up with the seniors. Like, the seniors will not have any fun during their year at all. Well, that is supposed to be the year we have the most fun, like with the senior activities, senior week and everything. And it's supposed to be the year we need the most support. So cutting the counselor job will not help us at all. And I will be a senior next year. So that's just my opinion.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Ingrid Eliason. I'm the teacher librarian over at Annie Yates. And in the past, I actually did work at the high school site and in the middle school site. And when I first heard that Mr. Patterson was going to be moved to Annie Yates as our new teacher for the middle school students, or was it fifth? I'm not sure what grade level. But anyway, I was very surprised because Mr. Patterson has been the guidance counselor at Emery Secondary for so many years. And I've never heard anything from my former students but good things about what Mr. Patterson has done for them. And in addition, I'm also really surprised that we can't find the money in a nearly $10 million budget to pay for the position of Mr. Patterson. And I find it, from my understanding, the Emery Secondary School is greatly understaffed. So I don't really see that as a place to look for cutting. If anything, I would probably look more towards the district office as a place for cutting and saving money. My suggestion actually would be, if you want to save money, since we're in need of more administrative coverage at the high school, is that Mr. Patterson should be considered as a combination dean of students and a school counselor. And then you could make good use of his experience, his knowledge, and his rapport with the students. And then you would have less issues with administrative coverage shortages like there have been the past few years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eliason.
My name is Mrs. Cosby, and I will have grandsons that will be entering the secondary school this fall. And the thing, I'm sitting here, standing, listening to everything, because I wasn't aware of everything that's been spoken tonight. But it seems to me, from me coming to board meetings, hearing what the new staff that has been drafted in, coming in saying that their whole idea was to build Emery, not to destroy it. You cannot build Emery by taking away what you do. I don't know Mr. Patterson that well. I mean, I've heard of him. But I do know that students do need a counselor, and they need one 24/7 if they are going to be on the track for college.
It doesn't make any difference whether they go to community college or go right into 4 years. They still need to know the requirement that they need to have in place in order to be able to do, if they can get the scholarship and make it onto the 4 year. But even going to community college, you still want to have the majority of the things out of the way that you will need when you transfer over to your 4-year college. So to sit here and listen and hear these things, it really appalls me, because all I can see is that we have board members, give or take, because everyone may not feel the same way, that don't give a rip about the students at Emery. And that is really sad. But I would like to know what would each and every last one of you do if it was your child. Don't kill off mine in the process of saving yours. Let's save them all together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cosby.
May I be allowed to speak? After Ms. Payne, can I go?
After this comment, sure, you should go up there and make.
Good evening. My name is Leslie Payne, and I'm a PE teacher at the secondary school. And I have been a teacher in the Emery Unified School District for 20 years. Over those 20 years, I have seen superintendents come and go, principals come and go, teachers, staff come and go, counselors come and go. And I first want to say that I would put the Emery teaching staff and counseling staff up against anybody, any other staff in the Bay Area. As far as the counseling position goes, I know that we have had counselors who had no credential, who ran roughshod over the district, and no one said or did anything. And half of the stuff we didn't even discover until they were gone. And I just feel like Mr. Patterson has been there, and he has been such a stabilizing force for our school and for our kids. He knows these kids. He loves these kids. The kids know and love and respect him. And I'm not trying to get personal. I know CJ is a close personal friend of mine, and I know what he has gone through this year. Most of you have no clue what he has gone through in his personal life. And it saddens me to see how he has been treated for all that he's given to this district. And I just think it is a terrible mistake to let him go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Aliyah. I've been in the Emery School District since I was in kindergarten. And Mr. Patterson, like, I had cousins that go to Emery, and my sister also went to Emery. And cutting his position is, like, really terrible because we really need him. Like, how do you guys expect us to go to college? You guys are letting us, like, basically be on our own when he leaves. We have no one to support us. Mr. Patterson, he pushed us really hard, and we need someone like that. Also, it's like, there's been like a lot of stuff going on this year, and you know, like, he's leaving our senior year, which means like a lot of people, if Patterson leave, a lot of you guys are not going to have a class of 16. No one's going to stay without a counselor. How do you guys expect us to go to college, and we're not going to have a counselor to help us get there where we need to be? I'm just saying, like, cutting Patterson's position is going to have a lot of seniors leave the school.
All right. My name is Bria Williams. I'm a sophomore, president of the sophomore class at Emery Secondary. Sorry if my word's slur. I just got my braces fixed, so. But I'm starting as freshman year. Freshman year, I got a packet, and one of the 3 listings on there was we create a sense of family. And so far, I've seen Mr. Shavrin go, and now I'm getting notice that Ms. Brenda's leaving, and that's a really close person to me. I call her my grandmother and everything, this Ms. Brenda. And I hear word the other day that through the halls, so students are talking about it, and it's frustrating them because we're losing our counselor. And as we sit there, we wonder, how is the class of 2016 going to make it? How is the incoming freshmen going to make it? I go to Mr. Patterson a good 3 times a day. You can ask him. I go to him all the time. just check in on them. I might, or if I'm walking past in the hallway, I might be late to class, but I'm gonna say hi before I go. Seeing that door shut is just wrong. I'm sorry. I just can't take it. I mean, Mr. Patterson is just that person you go to when you need that extra push, because some of the teachers are not always going to be there for you. So you have to go to someone that you know is always there. And you cutting him is just not fair. Not fair to class of 2016, not fair to the class of 2017, and so forth, because I have little sisters and little brothers that are going to go to Emery. My mom graduated from Emery, and she said it's so much better now because of the staff members and our teachers and our administrations that we have there. I feel that at Emery High, I've been given many opportunities. One, to sit on this board. Two, just to be surrounded by a family of upbringing, and it's wonderful. We have an amazing set of teachers who actually care, and for you to get rid of Miss Brenda or Mr. Patterson is just unfair, and it is crucial, and I don't understand how you expect us to graduate. I don't understand how you expect us. We might graduate, but we just gonna be outside on the corner. You ain't gonna see us in college. And if that's where you want to, if that's where you really want us to be, you want us to walk, you want us to see us cross that stage in college. Forget high school. We want to get to college. We want to get our diploma. You have to keep Mr. Patterson. That is one thing you cannot get rid of. You cannot say we create a sense of family, and we have lost so many people that were our family. And bring in a total stranger would just, I don't know if you bring strangers in your house, but I don't, because that's just not who I am. We create a sense of family means we create a sense. And Mr. Patterson and Ms. Brenda are our sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda.
Hello, my name is Aliyah Mohammed. I'm a junior at Emery Secondary. Perhaps the board remembers me from previous meetings. And I'm here to speak about the counselor position too. Our guidance counselor, Mr. Patterson, goes above and beyond his duties as counselor for the students of ESS, and his brand of loyalty, as well as the stability that comes with it, is not just something that you can take away without expecting major ramifications. And attempting to satisfy the need for a counselor with a part-timer who only present for a few days out of the week is not sufficient, as made evident in the past when students have petitioned for more guidance counselors, indicating that we need more of the services Mr. Patterson provides for the school and not less. Personally, Mr. Patterson keeps me sane enough to function in school, and with senior year coming on and college soon thereafter, I have no clue as to where I'll be or what I'll do without his advice. Given the kind of change that is trying to be made, our futures as juniors is going to be up in the air. Already we've begun to panic over college and careers, but without the critical support of a counselor, we're doomed to drown. Doing this will only set us up for failure next year. It is also important to note that the weight Mr. Patterson's shoulders will be given to the students and all other staff members. This will be overwhelming to the point of collapse as we are already understaffed. Take away our counselor and you've taken away our chances at success. You'll give us a major disadvantage that we may not be able to overcome. Ultimately, you'd be doing more harm than good to the school and thus the district by cutting Mr. Patterson in his position.
Thank you. Very well. Any other public comment on this during the public comment period?
I'm a parent of a NE8 student, and well, we've heard quite a litany of complaints here, mostly centered around the cutting of staff that the board is engaging in, and of course we also heard some comments regarding the substandard performance of our superintendent, Mr. Rubio. What I heard here was really most compelling is the one woman that said that we need to build Emery, not destroy Emery. And that's a really compelling point to me, because that's in fact what we're doing. We're destroying it, we're not building. What this board has done is they have decided to cut their way to excellence. I call it cutting to excellence. There's a way to avoid these kind of cuts, but so far it's fallen on deaf ears here for the most part, and that is to increase revenue by increasing the number of students that we have here at the district. And the way to do that, the only way to do that, since the Center of Community Life space site is too small, is to keep Annie Yates open. And that's how we increase the number of students that go to Emery, and that's the way we increase our revenue, so we don't have to have these kinds of cuts. And I hope it's been made pretty clear to you guys here tonight. You can't cut your way to excellence, even though you have sort of intimated that you can. And I wanted to talk really quickly about, briefly, the comments I heard from a couple of the teachers regarding Mr. Rubio's, the superintendent's, attendance database and the intimidation of teachers. Now, I spoke to Mr. Rubio about this very subject last autumn, and I expressed my desire that this district should treat the teachers as professionals. Mr. Rubio is a professional. The teachers are professionals. The teachers need to be treated as professionals. I pay Mr. Rubio's salary. I mean, if Mr. Rubio needs to know where every teacher is every second, well, I want to know where he is every second. How about a time clock for the superintendent, so I can see make sure he's coming to work on time? Or a better solution, how about we trust Mr. Rubio because he's a professional, and no, John, you don't need to fill out a time clock. Why? Because you're a professional. But guess what? So are the teachers. So we need to start treating the teachers as professionals. You can come down like a ton of bricks on the teachers like the way you are, but there's going to be negative consequences. You need to be open to the idea that there could be unintended consequences to a hugely authoritarian regime that you're setting up. And I just think it's wrong-headed. And then I wanted to say briefly, we heard from the board president, Mr. Affelt, at the last meeting. We're talking about the budget problems we're having. And I heard him say something that, as a parent, was so deflating. We're talking about, he was mentioning that we need to achieve solvency. And according to his calculations, 50 more students will bring solvency. Well, this is after a regime of huge amount of cuts that we've been talking about here tonight that people don't appreciate. So what Mr. Affelt is talking about here, the board president, is here's how hard the bar is set at Emery. Solvency, that's what we're trying to get. After a regime of cuts, solvency. That is so deflating and so disappointing. I think we should put our bar a little higher than just trying to achieve solvency. I think we should be trying to achieve actual excellence. And the way you do that is not by cutting and not by aiming for solvency.
Thank you, Mr. Donahue. Any other public comments tonight? Okay, that's going to close the public comment period. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It's very important that the board hears your perspective on matters that are on your mind. Just a point of clarification, this is not an agenda item, the issue of the counselor at the classroom and his or her assignment. That is something that the board does not control, individual assignments of individual teachers or personnel, and I don't think you want your board micromanaging the district at that level. So, but we appreciate hearing your concerns, and our job is to manage one person, and that's the superintendent. So your input is helpful in that regard. I heard a couple comments that I just want to clarify my understanding. The position is not being cut. We're not getting rid of a counselor. There will be a counselor. There will be counseling services. My understanding of the proposal is to reduce the position from a full-time to a less than full-time. I personally take your comments to be expressions of support for Mr. Patterson in that position or in any counseling services. So that's what I'm. But I just want to clarify, to the extent that people think there's not going to be any counseling, particularly our students, there will be counseling services one way or another next year. So that's the only clarifying point I want to make on that. But again, thank you for giving us your feedback on that.
Mr. Alfred, who do we go to regarding Mr. Patterson? Because we want Mr. Patterson to be our counselor.
We understand, and I think you've made your thoughts known to the superintendent, but you can make them known to him privately as well. That we're going to move on. All right, we're going to move on to reports. Are there any?
I'm sorry, can others comment on public comment as well?
It's not really, you can make a comment.
Thank you.
But we can't have a discussion
I'm
about.
not looking to discuss.
About an item.
So I just want to throw out there that hearing the community is really powerful for me, particularly students and teachers. I think we don't get enough of that at the board meetings, and I appreciate those of you who came out and spoke tonight. I do wonder how we can be a full-service community school if we're not able to staff even a full-time counselor at the high school. I worry about those sort of things, and so I want to share that. You know, I think we focus sometimes too much on what's outside the school building and not enough on what's inside, and so I want to be very clear on that. Should be the focus. And then Mr. Salvatore said something that really worried me, and I'd like to not let that go, and that's that we only have 20 kinder students registered for the fall. And so I don't know if a clarifying question is discussion, but it seems to me that that's a critical number when we're building towards solvency, and we only have 20 students registered for the fall. Was that an accurate number?
Am I responding? Are we having a conversation
here? It does sound like we're getting in a conversation. I think that's a topic probably for an agenda item, maybe for the next board meeting going into the end of the.
We have to agendize enrollment.
I think it's
I would be glad.
Would you like it? I'd like it agendized.
And I'd be glad to email the board the current numbers. That's no problem.
Okay.
Are you?
I mean, it seems to me that it's a yes or no question. Either it doesn't seem to me that I'm not looking to debate on whether or not it's 20 kids enrolled for the fall. It was a point of clarification.
Okay. Well, maybe you can address the information item in your report.
Sure.
If to the extent you've got information.
Sure.
So we're going to move on to reports. The CSEA have any report for us tonight? ETA. Welcome, Ms. Turner.
Good evening, board members, parents, and students. I'm Dawn Turner, the president of Emery Teachers Association. A couple of things that I want to bring to the board's attention. I know you've heard from quite a few people regarding the counselor's position. I just want to state ETA's official position. We're disturbed by any cuts that affect students and student services. We are disturbed by the fact that the secondary school every single year has less and less to offer our students. We are going to have to come up with some creative administration in order to resolve this problem. Teachers are doing all that they can do, but we are going to have to look at budget very closely and figure out ways to keep services in place for our students. It is our first and foremost mission as far as teaching, and this district's mission should be the same. Secondly, even though, you know, we are looking at budgeting problems, we also want to state that ETA does not always agree with the projected figures that the district comes up with. And so oftentimes we question, particularly around LCFF, we question the numbers. We question whether funding is being done correctly and whether all things are covered equitably. And so we will continue to question all those items. There is one other student service that is particularly disturbing to us, and that's the lack of summer school. I just want to point out to the board that the LCFF supplemental concentration money is increasing by $419,226 as of July 1st, 2015. So we would like you to take a look at budget. We would like you to take a look at funding and make sure that we are doing everything we can to keep services in place for our students and to make sure that our students can compete with the other students in the Bay Area. And then I'm going to just speak a little bit about site morale, because we're having some really big issues with site morale at each site. Of course, around student services at the secondary site. I just want to share a little bit with you that the elementary school site really feels that well, let me back up. We have really hit an all-time high as far as our administrator at the elementary school site. She is appreciated by students, families, and staff. But some members feel that her hands are tied at times. And we would like to make sure that our principal gets all the support she needs in order to continue to grow and to create the kind of school that we know she's capable of creating. And then my last item for tonight is I just wanted to give you a quick update on bargaining. So we have one day scheduled, which is tomorrow. Just overall, we feel that bargaining has, kind of been pretty slow going. And so, although it is not a requirement for Dr. Rubio to be at the bargaining table, we appreciate his presence, and we feel that his presence is needed more often in order for all of us to get a good understanding of budget and how we're going to move this boat forward. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Turner. Do we have a student representative report? Please.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay, so a couple of things. I'll start with the seniors. Okay, so the seniors graduation is on Monday at 6 at the Scottish Rite Center. Starts at 6. I'm not sure if they're doing tickets this year. Not sure, but yeah. Oh, no tickets? No tickets. So there's no tickets for the graduation. We would like to extend the invitation, make sure you guys are all there. The sports banquet is tomorrow at 6, which is all the sports throughout the year that we've all played at the Senior Center. And I would like to speak on the disturbance in the hallways as far as talk goes at Emery. See, even though most of us came up and spoke about it, most of the students are disturbed with how many subs we have per day and how many. I shouldn't have started there. Most of the students are disturbed with how we come to school not knowing if our teacher is going to come to school, or not knowing if we're going to have a great day at school because maybe we didn't do our work following because we don't know if our teacher is going to be there. So most students take that as a, hey, I'll do it next time. So I know a lot of them are hurt because of the Ms. Brenda and Mr. Patterson situation with the cutting. So we just wanted to make sure we bring that forward. Thank you, everyone who has showed up and talked about that tonight. That really helped. And we will continue to come until we get what we want because we feel that's what we need best. The art and music showcase was a success at Cliff Bard last week. The students' art work was well received, and the beginning to advanced bands played to a full house. So we want to thank everyone who came out to support. We want to thank the superintendent and the president for coming out to support us. That was amazing seeing both of you there. And we would also like to thank Mr. Salvatore, who came up with the idea for all of us to come together and collaborate for a song called Stand By Me, which we take personally as you see our situation. And also, the seniors would like to say thank you to Mr. Wehner for all the work he has done this year. And they said their picnic and bowling days last week was a blast, and they really appreciate that. And also, to all the seniors that are coming up, we want to wish you guys good luck. That's it.
Excellent, thank you. Do we have a principal's update?
Yes, we do.
Okay.